The night the engine died, the forest listened. It was a lonely road that cut through the thick belly of Udo forest, a narrow strip of red earth that twisted like a wounded snake between ancient iroko trees. The moon hung low, watching, waiting. Chinedu Okafor hated that road. But he hated being poor even more. He tightened his grip on the steering wheel of his old, fading blue Peugeot 504. The dashboard light flickered. Again. And again. Not tonight, he muttered. Please, not tonight. The car coughed. Snorts. Silence. The headlights blinked out. Darkness swallowed everything. Even the moon seemed to step back. Chinedu's heart slammed against his ribs. No. He turned the key. The engine groaned weakly. He turned it again. Nothing. The forest inhaled. The wind moved through the leaves like whispering voices. Chinedu stepped out slowly. The night air felt thick, heavy, like it carried secrets. He opened the bonnet. Smoke rose lazily. I just fixed you last week, he whispered angrily to the car. I don't have money for this again. Chinedu was once the pride of Umwahia village. Smart. Ambitious. The first to travel to the city for business. He returned wearing polished shoes and gold wristwatches, boasting about contracts and connections. But pride travels faster than wisdom. And money has wings. Within 2 years, debt swallowed him. Deals collapsed. Friends vanished. Even his fiancée left quietly, saying she needed stability. Now he drove passengers between villages to survive. And tonight, he had chosen a shortcut. Through Udo Forest. The forest elders always warned them. Do not pass through Udo after sunset, old Mama Kamsi would say. Some spirits travel that road when the sun sleeps. Chinedu scoffed at such talk. Spirits don't break engines. Or so he thought. A twig snapped behind him. He froze. Hello. His voice sounded smaller than he expected. No answer. Only wind. Footsteps. So measured. Coming from the deeper shadows. His breath caught. A figure emerged slowly from between the trees. A woman. She wore a long white wrapper that seemed too clean for a forest path. Coral beads rested gently around her neck. Her head tie was neatly folded, though no dust touched it. Her feet were bare, but untouched by dirt. She stopped a few steps away from him. Her eyes shimmered strangely in the dark. You look troubled, she said softly. Her voice was smooth. Too smooth. Chinedu swallowed. My car, it just stopped. She tilted her head. Cars do not stop without reason. He forced a laugh. Machines don't have spirits inside, madam. She smiled. A slow smile. Everything has a spirit, Chinedu. His stomach dropped. He had not told her his name. Tests. How do you know me? He whispered. She stepped closer. I know many things. The wind grew colder. Chinedu told himself not to panic. Maybe she was from the next village. Maybe she had seen him before. Yes, okay. Do you live nearby? He asked cautiously. She ignored the question. Open the bonnet again. Something in her tone felt like a command. Before his mind could argue, his hands obeyed. He lifted the bonnet. She stepped forward and placed her palm gently on the engine. Closed her eyes. The forest went silent. Even the insects stopped singing. Chinedu's heart pounded loudly in his ears. Her lips moved, whispering words he could not understand. The air thickened. The engine trembled beneath her touch. Low rumbling. Chinedu staggered backward. A faint glow flickered beneath her palm. She removed her hand. Start it, she said calmly. His fingers shook as he turned the key. The engine roared to life instantly. Right. As if it had never failed. Chinedu stared at her in disbelief. How did you do that? She smiled again. You needed help. He felt relief rush through him. Thank you, madam. I don't know how to repay you. You will, she interrupted. The word hung in the air. Heavy. He frowned. Repay. Everything has a price, she said gently. The wind began to move again. Leaves rustled. Somewhere in the distance, a baby cried. But there were no houses nearby. Chinedu's chest tightened. What price? She walked around the car slowly, her fingers grazing the metal surface. You are a man who once loved wealth more than wisdom, she said quietly. He stiffened. You borrowed. You boasted. You mocked those who warned you. His throat went dry. How do you know these things? I know, she replied simply. She stopped in front of him. Tomorrow, a great opportunity will come to you. Bigger than any contract you lost. His heart skipped. Opportunity? What kind of opportunity? A man will approach you in the morning at Nkwol Market. He will offer you a transport contract. Easy money. Chinedu's mind raced. Money. Finally. But, he asked cautiously. Her eyes darkened slightly. You must not accept it. His excitement crashed. What? Why? Because the road attached to that contract leads deeper than this forest. He swallowed. What does that mean? She stepped closer. Her face now inches from his. If you accept, something precious will be taken from you. His chest tightened. Taken? Like money? She did not blink. More precious. A chill ran down his spine. Like what? She leaned back slightly. That depends on what you love most. Silence. The forest seemed to lean closer, listening. Chinedu felt anger rising. You speak in riddles. If you know something, say it clearly. Her expression hardened. Some lessons must be chosen. He clenched his fists. I need money, he said bitterly. I've already lost everything. She studied him for a long moment. Not everything. The baby's cry echoed again. Louder. Closer. Chinedu turned sharply. Do you hear that? When he looked back, she was standing farther away now, almost blending into the trees. You have until sunrise to decide the kind of man you wish to be, she said. Wait, he shouted. Who are you? The wind rose suddenly. Her white wrapper fluttered unnaturally. I am only a helper, she replied. Lightning flashed across the sky. For a split second, her shadow stretched across the ground. But it did not match her shape. It was taller, twisted, with horns. The light vanished. Darkness returned. And she was gone. Gone. Chinedu stumbled backward, breathing heavily. No, no. The engine was still running smoothly, as if nothing had happened. He quickly entered the car and drove out of the forest without looking back. But as he reached the edge of Udo Forest, he noticed something in his rearview mirror. On the back seat, a small coral bead, the same kind she wore. He slammed the brakes. His heart nearly stopped. And then, from the dark corner of the back seat, came the faint sound of a child's soft laughter. Chinedu slowly turned his head. The seat was empty, but the coral bead rolled gently across the leather. Back and forth, as if touched by invisible fingers. The engine flickered again. Just once. Then steadied. Chinedu's breathing became shallow. Tomorrow. Nkwol Market. A contract. A choice. And something precious at stake. Far behind him, deep inside Udo Forest, the white-clad woman stood watching the road. Her eyes no longer kind. The horns in her shadow now clear. She whispered into the wind. Let us see what he values most. The baby's cry echoed one final time. And this time, it sounded like it was coming from Chinedu's own house. The rooster crowed before dawn. But Chinedu had not slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw it again. The woman's shadow. Smiling. He sat on the edge of his wooden bed, staring at the cracked photograph in his hand. Him and Ada. Her smile bright. Her hand wrapped around his arm like she believed he could stop the world from hurting her. I will protect you, he whispered again. Outside, morning slowly pushed away the darkness. But the fear did not leave. A soft knock came at the door. Brother. He rushed to open it. She stood in her blue school uniform, hair braided neatly, but her face looked pale. Did you sleep? He asked. She shook her head slowly. I saw her again. His throat tightened. The woman in white? Ada nodded. She was standing near your car. She touched it and said, Tonight, the road will choose. Chinedu forced calm into his voice. It's only a dream. But deep inside he knew it wasn't. Nkwol Market was crowded as usual, traders shouting, wrappers swaying in bright patterns of yellow and red, baskets of dried fish stacked high, the scent of palm oil thick in the air. Life moved, unaware. Chinedu parked beneath the Udala tree and waited. His palms were sweating. A shadow fell across his window. Driver turned. Chief Emeka stood there again, cream caftan spotless, sandals shining, dark glasses reflecting something darker than the market. You thought about my offer? The chief asked smoothly. Chinedu stepped out slowly. How much exactly? He asked. The chief named the amount again. It hit harder in daylight. Enough to clear his debts. Enough to send Ada to a better school. Enough to start over. You only drive sealed packages at night, the chief continued. No questions. 7 days. Where to? The chief smiled faintly. Through Udo Forest. Chinedu's chest tightened. And what is inside the packages? The chief's smile did not move. Things that must travel. A goat nearby suddenly bleated in panic. The wind shifted. For a brief second, Chinedu saw something strange in the chief's shadow. It did not match his shape. It had horns. His heart began to race. If I refuse? Chinedu asked quietly. The chief removed his glasses slowly. His eyes were pale. Almost white. Then you remain small, he said. Struggling. Begging life for mercy. The words stabbed deep. Because they were true. You have until midnight, the chief added. I will come. He turned and disappeared into the crowd. As if swallowed. Chinedu drove home in silence. His thoughts fought each other. If this is evil, why offer money? If it is dangerous, why give me a choice? What if this is the breakthrough I prayed for? When he reached home, Ada was sitting on the ground drawing in the sand. What are you drawing? He asked. She looked up slowly. A road. He stared at it. The drawing showed a road splitting into 2 paths. One bright, one dark. In the dark path, she had drawn a small stick figure. Alone. Who is that? He asked gently. She pointed. You. His breath caught. Why alone? She looked confused. Because I'm not there. A sudden crash came from inside the house. They both jumped. Chinedu rushed in. The cracked photograph from earlier had fallen completely from the shelf. This time, the glass had shattered entirely. A deep scratch cut across his own face in the picture. Not Ada's. The room grew cold. And then, she appeared. Standing by the doorway. The woman in white. But in daylight her beauty felt wrong. Too perfect. Too still. You met him, she said calmly. Yes, Chinedu replied, anger shaking his voice. What do you want from me? I want you to understand, she said. Understand what? That the road does not take what you do not offer. His chest tightened. If I accept the contract, what happens? She stepped closer. The road will demand payment. In what form? She looked toward Ada. Then back at him. In the form of love. Rage exploded inside him. Leave my sister out of this. I did not choose your love, she said quietly. You did. Thunder rolled in the distance though the sky was clear. I only fixed your car, she continued. But you asked for more when you begged for your life to change. He remembered. In the forest. In his frustration. He had shouted, my life needs help. Every word had weight. Every desire had ears listening. If I refuse? He asked again. You remain poor, she said simply. But safe. Her voice softened slightly. Poverty is heavy. But regret is heavier. The air vibrated. Then she vanished. Night came quickly. Too quickly. At exactly midnight. A horn sounded outside. Waiting. Chinedu stood inside the dark house. Ada clung to his shirt. Brother, don't go. He knelt in front of her. His heart was tearing in two. I need to fix our life, he whispered. We are already alive, she cried. The horn sounded again. More impatient. He stood slowly, took a deep breath, and made his choice. He stepped outside. Chief Emeka's black SUV waited at the gate. The trunk slowly opened. Inside were wooden crates. So, breathing. Breathing. A faint rhythm pulsed from within them. Chinedu's stomach turned. "What is inside?" he demanded. The chief smiled. "Opportunities. Open it." The chief hesitated, then nodded. The first crate creaked open. Inside, darkness. Moving darkness. It shifted like smoke. And within it, faces. Crying faces. Whispering. Begging. Chinedu staggered back. "These are souls," he whispered. The chief's eyes gleamed. "Lost hopes. Broken promises. We transport them." "To where?" "To those who trade humanity for success." Chinedu's blood ran cold. "You want me to help you steal from people?" "We do not steal," the chief corrected. "They choose." Just like him. The realization struck hard. The woman had not come to trap him. She had come to warn him. The road takes only what you offer. The horned shadow. The coral bead. The dream. Everything was a test. The chief stepped closer. "Time is finished. Load your car." Chinedu's hands trembled. He thought of his debts. Of humiliation. Of hunger. Then he thought of Ada's drawing. The road splitting in two. One bright. One dark. He closed his eyes. And stepped back. "I refuse." Silence fell. The wind stopped. The chief's smile vanished instantly. "You choose suffering," he said coldly. "I choose my soul," Chinedu replied. The crates began to shake violently. The darkness inside them shrieked. The forest wind howled even though they were not near Udo. The woman in white appeared behind the SUV. Her form no longer perfect, but no longer smiling. "You have broken the chain," she said softly. The chief roared in fury. His body twisted. His shadow split into horns and smoke. "You will regret this," he screamed. The crates burst open. Darkness exploded into the sky like a flock of birds. And vanished. The SUV dissolved into dust. The chief disappeared with it. Silence returned. The woman looked at Chinedu. "You have chosen the harder road," she said. "But it is yours." "Who are you?" he asked one final time. "I am what remains of a woman who once failed this choice," she replied. Her form began to fade. "Because you chose differently. I am free." Her body dissolved into light. Gone. The night became ordinary again. No horns. No whispers. Just crickets. Chinedu stood shaking. Then he ran inside. Ada was exactly where he left her. He pulled her into his arms and wept openly. The days that followed were not magical. No sudden riches came. No miracle contracts. But something changed. Chinedu stopped chasing shortcuts. He repaired his car honestly. Worked longer hours. Saved carefully. Months passed. Slowly, steadily, life improved. One afternoon at Nquo Market, a genuine transport company manager approached him. "I hear you are trustworthy," the man said. "We need drivers who refuse illegal work." Chinedu smiled faintly. "I refuse many things now," he replied. Years later, he would tell Ada, "Poverty tests your patience. Wealth tests your soul." And she would always remember the night her brother chose love over easy money. Because some roads shine brightly, but lead into darkness. And some roads are dusty and long, but lead home. So this is the end. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also click the notification bell for future updates. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.